wanna be the best in the game, invest in my name, check no restraints, I'm obsessed with the pain. I ingest, I retain, assess and I change, possessed by the thought I'll be free one day from society's restraints. Money, clout and fame, mud, disease, a plague. We all love to hate, have to play the game, have to make a name. All our insecurities are on display. This is war with the enemy, think that it was meant to be. Living in a time where disease is on every screen. I won't let them fester me, I know most are festering. Negativity is a plague for the mentally weak. No mercy, all I got is working. Never stop searching, never quite so thirsty. I'm toxic and psychotic with this logic, you can't stop it. It's been chronic since I was a boy, so neurotic and chaotic.
I'm built to last with the webs I'm weaving. I could change the past with all I'm achieving. Got my foot on gas, never stop coming.
Welcome, everybody. Appreciate you guys are stopping in. It would help if I pull my microphone closer to me. All right. So the other day I was drawing an image. I was drawing the human figure in perspective, showing how I could do we do a down shot, and I drew that live as far as the demonstration went, and some people were asking about my perspective grid and stuff like that, like how I do that. I showed the human figure, how I drew that in perspective. A lot of times I'll just eyeball it, and then in Clip Studio I can adjust and check my perspective to see if it all matches up properly. And your perspective can get a little skewed here and there as you get when it's framed. When you have it within a panel. This was the image that I drew the other day. But so I thought I'd show you guys my my perspective grids that I use. Let me get rid of the grid. And this is my perspective when I'm drawing here. So it's a 2-point perspective angle, and the horizon line is down low. So our eye level is down below the figures. They're elevated, so we get to see the sort of up their nostrils and beyond their head, and the ceiling would be in that shot. So this is the perspective grid that you guys didn't get to see the other day when I was showing the artwork. I usually just turn it off because it can become pretty distracting to me, and I like to be able to see the artwork. So this is artwork for a concept idea that I've got for a comic book. Not sure if it's going to be the project that I will develop, and if it will eventually go into print. Not sure about that. I have many ideas, so I'm not sure which one I want to go with, but I'm still, working on it a little here and there, and see where it goes, see how it develops. If I feel it's got a lot of potential, and if I get a rhythm going in it, then I'll keep going. But I've got 2 others, which I showed the second one, but I don't really want to show projects too early or go into depth of what the story is too early. So here is my perspective, and I will show you guys how you can use the perspective rulers within Clip, and it's actually pretty easy to do. So it's not too difficult. So I haven't decided yet. I'm thinking about putting how far apart these bars would be from each other. So if I just show that little piece, there would be some vertical, put a little bit of a vertical grid in there for myself. This would go across. Let me finish up my lines. I had to erase because I was changing up quite a bit on, I don't think this line is, yeah. All right. I'm not snapping to the right ruler. Okay. I had to use my object select to select the ruler that I want to get on. I was on the other ruler. And what do I have? 1, 2, 3 lines. Looks like that perspective. Yep, it does go off. That's why. Alrighty. So you can use your object select tool. There is a little bullet you can grab that will raise the arm up and down. And then you have these little blue bullets that you can use to push the vanishing line further out or bring it in more. Because you oftentimes, what was really hard for me is when the vanishing lines go way off the page. Difficult for me when I'm working traditionally is when those vanishing lines go really far and I got to take a piece of string on my ruler and like pull it out and stick it with a little thumbtack or tape, depending on my desk that I was using at the time. And the vanishing point will go really far off the page where you can see it here. There goes my vanishing points, just going way off that page to the far left of your screen. And in Clip Studio, it's so much easier. I can just move stuff around, figure out where I want that vanishing point to get in a really extreme shot. If I want an extreme shot. Anyway, that's my perspective grids within Clip, and I'll show you real quickly how and where. Let me see if this. I think I drew. So I freehanded this last part of the. I added this window right here, right behind her, and I thought, because I had a wall there, and I thought, oh, I want to open that up, and I should show some like more of the of a window to kind of show that there's there's more out there. So I drew that one freehand, but I don't think I was in perspective correctly. So, and here it is in perspective. I'm just going to delete so it doesn't go through. I'm going to draw it again real quick. All right. Now I can erase it now that I drew on a different layer. And anyway, that's perspective rulers, and it's really easy. You can do 1 or 2 point perspective, 3 point perspective if you need to in Clip Studio Paint. Clip Studio Paint can also do a linear perspective or a spherical perspective, which is like a 5 or 6 point perspective, and it makes it really easy inside of Clip Studio Paint, which is why I like and prefer perspective. It just became easy in Clip. So I like to push. I want to start pushing my perspective even further in Clip Studio Paint, because traditionally I just have a basic understanding of perspective. I have a basic understanding of drawing things technically it's cartoony, it's comic books, and that's all we need. We don't need, to have such a in-depth, knowledge of perspective and all that stuff. We don't need that. And I think that's pretty much it. I don't think there was anything else in that one, because there wouldn't be any other angle. I think the next bar would be like out way over here. I guess I could draw out past it, I guess. I guess it would go. It would show up right there, I guess. Like a little. And I would have that entire background. No, but then I kind of bring in the tree. I don't know if I want to go that far out in the line. Anyway, let's do the perspective ruler now. So let's say that I have. Oh, wait! Before I forget, I drew in my grid over here. I just want to clean up real quick. Just so I remember when I go back and start penciling in my detail. I don't know what the characters quite are going to look like yet, so I'm still kind of playing with that. Playing with the look of my character. So I kind of draw them a little different here and there, but it's basically me, Hera and Hades to Greek mythology, where I will eventually put in. I'm not sure if I want him to have hair or if he's going to wear his helm of darkness. I'm still playing with all those ideas right there. So just kind of sketching a little bit of hair. It's just to remind myself, maybe I'll put him in with hair. And then so all you do is you just come over. You can grab just the ruler, select perspective ruler over on the left-hand side. If you want, say you eyeball it and you decide, that you just put two lines perpendicular together. You get your object select tool and you select that ruler, and you can kind of figure out how far and where your vanishing point will be, and your horizon line, since we're kind of looking further back, this is the horizon line, that blue line going across the top. That's our horizon line, and we move this just to make sure everything is still in perspective. Yeah, not bad I just used basic rulers when I used a single guide when I did this. I didn't do this with a vanishing point or anything. I was moving through the drawing pretty fast, and I think I did okay on that. Not bad. Oh, not too bad. They always say you're not supposed to eyeball anything, but I guess my eye is getting a little better at it. This right here is that line right there. And I guess as we get closer, the perspective is going to go like that. It's going to be my grid on the floor. So here's my vertical line. And you can see now that it's on the paper. And anytime I draw anything, it would go. I started moving it. I should just undo. Where was I? Right there. Anyway, that's how you can use the perspective ruler. And then if you need to add more, you can go through and say it was a 2-point a 2-point perspective, and you wanted to add another one. You can just go ahead and add another, another set of ruler, like this, if you wanted to. And then you can make it, another set of ruler. However you need to do, you can manually create a 3-point perspective, or you can go up to layer, ruler frame, create. I have mine selected to create everything in a new layer. But let's say I wanted to create that 1-point perspective. You have the option to do fisheye if you want, but I'm not doing any fisheye right now. That's a spherical or linear perspective that has a curve to it, which is a 5-point or 6-point perspective. I'm not an expert in perspective, but so here's my 1-point perspective, and I need to bring my guides, and so you just figure out where you want your vanishing point to be. My vanishing point was actually I had drawn a line there, so a little bit of a cheat there because I already knew where my vanishing point was, but you can move it around, figure out where you want things to be. And then if you want to draw in perspective, you can also put in a grid. If you want the grid, you just go to Object Tool, you select your ruler. In the Windows property, you can select the grid if you want the grid on the ground, if you want the grid that's over on the left side of the wall. So that way, say, for instance, I was going to put in a window in there, a particular shape for a window. You want it to snap automatically to that perspective. So you can put in, I can draw in automatically a window in perspective right there. That square is automatically in perspective to my vanishing point. So that's what those grids are for. They're really good. They're easy to use. It still gets a little funky for me when I'm using, I have a snap to grid when I'm using my pencil or my pen. So sometimes it'll hop on the vertical where I want it to go on the perpendicular lines, and it just, sometimes it'll do that. Or like on that one where it was, perpendicular are lines that cross, parallel are lines that run alongside together. Vertical and horizontal, I'm sure. and sometimes it'll snap to the one. But if you wanted to draw in your window, you could in perspective by having that grid on there. So you could frame it. So sometimes, there you go. It let me put that little line across. Sometimes it gets a little wonky, with that. And if it happens, you can always just click up here and you could turn off the grid, and you can draw freehand again. Turn off the ruler. So say if you wanted to put little shines in the window, like that, and then you can always turn it back on and say we wanted to start drawing in perspective, and we want to draw a grid like that. Let's say I delete that ruler. This is what I like to do to mine. I actually will draw in my little grid like that when I draw bricks, and then I just select the when I draw bricks, and where is my, oh, there we go. I've been using Photoshop lately to color, and I forgot jumping between the two programs. It man, it's pretty funky, So basically, if you wanted to, you could just draw in a bunch of little bricks if you wanted to. You can put in that grid, or you can use the ruler grid while you're doing it, and then just put in your little bricks in there. So let's just say we're going to use the grid to actually draw in the brick. We want to draw them in perspective. So I would actually draw the line all the way through. Then you can just pick which one you want to put your brick like that. And it's all in perfect perspective. No guessing, Where I'm so used to traditional, I forget that you don't have to. And the trick is to stagger your lines. So you put a set of line in between, you just shift them over, and those are bricks, and it's real easy, drawing in perspective. That was a 1-point perspective that we had there. That building that I drew, it's Roman architecture, so there's no like window like this, so where's my shape tool again? Here we go. I'm going to delete all that, and I'll do it in pen so you guys can see. So what I had on there, what I had drawn that there was this ledge that the girl was on, right? And we had the floor that she was standing on right here. It was like some tile. There is the ground. There was the doorway, the walkway that she was in. And then I had some more roof pieces of the wall like this. And then then I had some like tree back here. I like this Roman. I like this stuff to kind of arch back there. And then I had another wall going back there. And then more. Just keeping that perspective going. And then I had a layer right here of where I have the girl kind of just leaning over the edge like this, and her hair was longer. Just kind of looking over, and I drew some more trees and stuff back here. So like that, and that's just how you create the scene. You just put in your 1 point perspective, and you just kind of imagine, basically whatever architecture and style that you want. But with Clip Studio, it's so easy to just do it. I honestly don't know why people would use assets like a 3D asset. Clip Studio comes with so many 3D assets that they're just in my folder. I don't even know how to get rid of them, but like there's this, I keep seeing this one. I don't know what it is. I don't know how to use these. So you guys forgive me here. What is this, camera angle? Is this, no, how do you rotate that? I don't know. But with the perspective rulers, they make it so easy that it's a bus. I don't get why. I guess you could get 3D asset, and I guess you just, you have it in there. Clip comes with so many. Plus you could download even more, but it gives you such a basic version of it. They give you the human figure, but I never use them because they're so stiff. And how do you get rid of this? It's a layer. I just get rid of it. That when it gives you the perspective, it's so easy to draw a scene with that perspective, and you just use a ruler, and you can use your imagination, and you can really just put in any of the architecture that you want. It just takes a few more steps, because what I would recommend is that I would put in my basic shape like this. Like I knew I had a 1 point perspective like this, and I found out where my horizon line was. Then I went online and I started looking at ancient Roman, ancient Greek architecture. Then I would just extrapolate from the information that was on there, deciding on, what I wanted to use, what I wanted to keep, what I didn't want to use, stuff like that. And then I could design my own, and have my own camera angle and stuff like that. So I don't really get why, but you can. I'm not against it. So, I'm sure you could get a 3D asset and move it in there so your background, everything stays consistent. But I kind of like being able to get a really extreme camera angle. My computer, as you saw, when I tried putting in a 3D asset, I mean, it took forever to get it to rotate. It didn't really show. So I don't think my computer will be fast enough for that. And I guess, for anything 3D, but that 1 point, 2 point perspective, some people think is cheating in using Clip Studio, like that, because it does it all for you, makes it easy. But, that's just where technology is taking us for art. And it's totally up to you, if, some people, I'm friends with a lot of professional artists, and my friends that are professional, that work, a buddy of mine working over at Marvel right now. He told me he'll set up his grid on digital in Clip Studio Paint. He'll draw out his grid. He'll print it out in 11 by 17 paper, and then he light boxes that grid because he still draws traditionally, but he loves that Clip Studio Paint lets him get the vanishing points that go off page so easy, so fast that he doesn't have to, fiddle around with it or whatever. The Game Mechanic. Hey, Jimmy and chat. Appreciate that you were here. Rachel Blinker says, if you wish to save time in Clip Studio, you can make or import while sets or scenes. Oh, yeah, I think there's like 3D assets. Like you can see on the side of mine, like they give you a car, they give you like a city shot, when you go into 3D assets. And then I went online. I went through their little library to see what else they had in there, to try to see up. But they're always so wonky. They don't work on my computer, and um, a lot of them are like the cars are like European, and the buildings are European, and it's just so much easier just for me to just do the perspective grid myself and draw in whatever I want to do. Because a lot of times I love putting stuff in like the Greek architecture or a really gothic building, like Batman, like you would see in a Batman comic. I love all that stuff. So it's super easy that way. So I would just recommend, do that. Whole damn dyslexic fingers. Oh, dyslexic fingers. Katie did. Hey, Katie, how's it going? She says, hey, Jimmy, appreciate that you're here. I hope to see you as my guest in 10 minutes. Oh, I didn't know you're, wait, was I invited? Did I forget one? Or if not, send me the link. I'll try to pop in here in a minute. I'm already done showing the, how quick and easy using perspective grids in Clip Studio Paint. I mean, you just, 1 point, 2 point perspective, you don't have to figure out where your points are. You just figure out the angle of where you want, your rulers, how extreme, and it'll show you where your horizon line is, where your vanishing points are. It's so easy, especially for somebody like me who is like just basic perspective understanding. Hiya, Jimmy, I forgot. I backed Dragon Rage last year. LOL, thought I'd miss doing so. Oh, thanks, man. I appreciate that. Comics Legend. Hi, Jimmy. Do you pass down your Dragon Rage art powers to your kids, or are they all able to draw and color? Maybe they can help out with color flats. My kids, my son, he was really big into video games. And he never tried to draw anything. And then when he was 18, he joined the Marines. My daughter was the one that would doodle and draw. We were at a convention one time, and I don't want to say the name of the artist. I don't know if that person's a professional now, but at the time there was an amateur artist who was what they would call a con artist. I don't know. It's such a horrible name, but they mean convention artists, where they didn't draw sequential art. They just drew stuff, prints, and just sold prints and little, this guy tried to draw the Hulk. He drew the Hulk's face on a little bitty canvas about this big, and he had a tiny little easel, and he had it on there. And my daughter went by and she was looking at it, and the guy got all excited. He's like, oh, he's trying to get me to buy it. And my daughter just asked, would you have one that's blank? And he's like, yeah, I got a bunch of them that are blank. I said, will you sell me one that's blank? Because she likes to draw. And he said, oh, okay, sure. And he sold me one blank. And he gave me the easel. He was like, here, just take the little easel for it. And so I felt bad buying a blank one. So I told him, well, since you gave me the easel, I'll buy that Hulk. She likes that Hulk. So I bought it, right? And we're walking away, and I told my daughter never asked for anything. I just told her, I just assumed she wanted it. Turns out she could spot all the inaccuracy in it. She redrew his Hulk on this little canvas levels above this guy. This guy was like in his 30s trying to draw the Hulk. And at that time, my daughter was like 12 years old, and she sketched it out. I wish I had that Hulk painting, to the two paintings, because I used to keep them together side by side on an easel. And people would come in my studio, and I'd go, my daughter drew one of those. Can you tell? And most of the time, people would guess, the better one, because I was so proud, I guess. But there were a few people that go, this one right here looks like a little kid drew it. I was like, nah, it's the other one. The 30-year-old man drew that one. So my daughter has the ability, the eye, but she has no desire to be an artist, no desire to draw. She could just do it. And it's the same story with me. When I was a kid, I had the ability, but I had never really been exposed to it, never had a drive for it, until I discovered comic books and I saw Jim Lee art, and I went, oh my God, wow, this is amazing. And I just started drawing, and I could copy what I saw, and people would go, oh my God, you could draw like Jim Lee, but I couldn't. I could copy it. I could see it and draw it, right away, and having no experience in art, I could just mimic what I saw. And my daughter could do the same thing. But my brother, and my granddaughter, my son, he has I have granddaughters. My granddaughter can draw. She loves drawing anime and manga. She loves drawing manga. So she comes over, and I have a little section for her where she'll come in and she'll sit down and draw while I work when she comes over to visit. And she's already amazing at it. But my brother, all of his kids love comic books. They love comics. My kids have no interest in comic books whatsoever. But my brother, who's not really into comics, he is now because his kids got him into it. But he ended up having the kids that love comics, and they can all draw. So my brother designs UI. He works in AI. He designs the user interface graphics. He works in AI, and I have the two smartest kids. My daughter had graduated university, magna cum laude. She had a 4.0 grade average. She's a literal genius. She has the highest IQ I think of anybody I've ever met. I mean, her high IQ alone is way up there. So is my son. He's very, very intelligent too, but he's not as like she's like a genius, like a Sheldon Cooper, and she's beautiful. I'm never going to show a picture. I'm not going to dox my daughter, but maybe you'll see her one day hanging out online with me or something if I ever get her. Neither one of them want to be on with me on a stream, but I've tried asking my son. My son's handsome. He's built. He looks like Henry Cavill. You know, he's big guy. He's built, man, and he's attractive. And but he's I don't know. Neither one of them want to be online. But my daughter, when you guys see my daughter, people would look at me really weird because she's white. And so people would look at me really weird. You know, there's this blonde hair, blue-eyed girl, beautiful, who, you know, people would look at me like, what are you doing with this really beautiful young girl? And when she was a little baby, this white lady kept staring at me really dirty, just going Karen on me, just staring at me at the department store. Because I had I approached my daughter and I said, come on, let's go. We got to go. And she wanted to be playing around, running in the clothes in the department store. I said, come on, we got to go. Cause I was trying to get her to go catch up with her mom. And she's playing in the department store. And I look over and I see this Karen just mad eye, just staring at me and giving me the shaking my head look like, what are you doing with that little girl? So I see that and I go, hey, little girl, would you like some candy? And then my daughter, of course, she's my daughter. So she's like, yeah, I want candy. I said, well, then you got to come with me, little girl. Come on, let's go. And I take her and we run out real fast. I thought it was hilarious. That lady did not think that was funny. She went full Karen on me, making a scene, calling security. But the poor security, when he got there, I explained, this is my daughter. You know, I was like, come on, man, it's kind of racist. What, you know what? I can't have a blonde hair, blue-eyed little white girl with me. You know what I mean? And so we had to go get her mom, you know, and her mom was there and stuff. And we thought it was hilarious and funny. I thought it was hilarious and funny. My daughter having a great sense of humor since she was little. So that happens. It would happen throughout our time together as she got older. But as she got older, when she became a teenager, whenever situations kind of like that would happen and people would look at me and go, is that your daughter? And I'd go, what? I go, yeah. I go, you know, and I yell my daughter's name. Hey, come here. And she go, dad. If she would say dad, sometimes she would just go, I don't know him. Right. She thought that was really funny. But when she did say dad, she'd go, dad, my name isn't what, you know, her name. She goes, my name is, say it's Brittany, the whitest name, right? My name is Brittany. Remember, dad? Come on, dad. Let's get going. We need to get your medication. She'd pretend like I was senile. She thought that was hilarious. So she'd flip it on me. But we had fun with it because, you know, living in an area where people were just looking at you like, you know, I don't know, just, you know, you're 210 and be around a white baby, you know, it's like, hey, come on now, you know, I'm Spaniard. My dad looks white, you know, I mean, most of my family on my dad's side, you know, we're white. But yeah, that's the story there. They're the ones that that can draw, and they love comic books. So that's why I'm cleaning up my channel a little more, so that way, because they watch it now. They're probably watching right now. Monstrositus says, I have used Clip Studio Paint EX for years and I've only tried to download brushes recently where all the YouTube videos say to look for download in materials. It's not there. I can't find anything. Yeah, you just click. I started doing that too. I started looking to see. They sent me a message because I've never used any assets. They sent me an email 2 days ago and they said, hey, all your clippy points, which I didn't know what the hell that was. They said, you got so many clippy points. They're gonna be deleted by the end of the month. They're gonna lose some of them by the end of the month. And I went to go look at my total since I've been using Clip Studio Paint since 2020 or 2018. I had like 67,000 clippy points or something. And I was like, oh my God, like I'm rich. I'm rolling in the dough. So I went through their store and I got all the brushes they had for free, all the pencils. I had so much left over. I downloaded a couple of 3D asset stuff. Like I got the buildings to see how what they are, what they work, but they don't really, I don't know how people use that stuff. It doesn't work, but you click on 3D, you go to your 3D library and then you go to downloaded. And then you just look for your downloaded materials in there. So I've downloaded a couple of textures for brushes so that I can make a few more custom brushes. I downloaded like a dry brush, one with a gritty texture. So I started, using that for that stuff. That's really what, like right here, you can see like where like there's different textures. I download all the different textures so that I can put them into brushes. And that's really where I was trying to spend my clippy points, but really when I went through there wasn't a whole lot. Mostly what they have is 3D assets. And I don't really care for 3D assets, but I downloaded a few to try them out. That was at Bus in the building. But I mostly went through and I got pins and stuff and textures and tips, materials that I can use to make into tips. If you make brushes and you understand the lingo, the material is what you use for the tip. If not, don't worry about it. I'll probably come out with some new brushes again very soon. And I still got, I had so many clipping points, I couldn't even spend them all. I don't know what I'm just going to let them go to waste, I guess. I don't know. And they have swatches. If you color, if you guys color on the left side of my screen, I downloaded this swatch. Oh, I'm blocking it. Sorry. Look, let me, on the left side of my screen, you can see swatches right there. I downloaded that entire swatch, a Pantone swatch, for free. So now I'm going to try coloring in Clip. So you can see that entire swatch right there. That's scrolling on the bottom left corner. So they have tons of stuff that as you build up clippy points, I don't know how you get them or what, but I had never used them and I had so many in there. So I just started trying to get a bunch of stuff that I thought I could use somehow. I hope that it doesn't slow down or crash Clip. But it doesn't appear to, because I downloaded a bunch of pencils and brushes and it doesn't seem like it's slowing it down. I've been drawing past a couple of days with no problem at all. Didn't see the grid ruler before. I could use some practice. Yeah, so when you it's really easy to say when you get it depends on which one you want to use. Of course, in layer, ruler, frame, create perspective ruler. If you want a 1-point perspective, it'll automatically give you that perspective. You decide on where that blue line is your horizon line, which is basically you could say the eye level down below. You can grab these little anchor points. You can grab the little blue one and push the horizon vanishing point out further away. Depends on how extreme you want your and then use the white one to move the horizon line however you want. You can even rotate and then of course you can move it around. You can even rotate the ruler if you really wanted to rotate it to get a really extreme camera angle. But then all you do is you go over to, with it selected, using your object tool, your ruler is selected. If you're able to grab it, you go over to the left side, you go to the property tools, you scroll down and you can select the grid. So this is the grid down below. Let's say I wanted to put in a spherical on the ground. So there's a big manhole. See that? It's in perspective. It snaps to the grid right on there. So let's say I want there to be a hole on the wall, say a character teleported through. So you grab you just grab this object select tool, you go back to the properties, and let's say I want it on the wall, on the side of the wall, and it will snap it to the perspective. Perfect perspective. It's lined up with your vanishing point. Everything lines to the vanishing point on there. So it's quick, it's fast to have. If you want even your square to go, and it's all within that perspective. Oops, let me go back. But yeah, it's the grids are great. You turn them off, turn them on again if you want to be able to. There we go, and there it is in perspective on the ground, just right there. So it's pretty cool, pretty quick. But I'm gonna get rolling. I think somebody invited me over to their channel. I guess you guys are having something there. But I'll say hello. If only Jimmy knew of the 3D model features to Clip Studio. I'm honestly, I hear that there is a wait. Can you make your own 3D model in Clip like SketchUp? I don't know how to use that. But if anybody does, or if y'all know any videos where to go, that would be cool and useful. Where say like it's like there's an airplane you got to draw over and over. Yeah, that would be great. So then I could design it like Blender or something, right? You could design it, and then you have it, and you can just move it around. That would be easy because then you don't have to go back, reference your drawing. Otherwise, I mean, things like that. I could see using a 3D asset for that, so that I don't have to go back and constantly draw that same airplane, stuff like that. But other things, I like the perspective ruler. I'm just old school. I'm still thinking in the way of traditional so much that I like to get real extreme camera angles. I really want to try to push myself even more. I don't know, maybe it's just like ego or pride or something where I just kind of feel like, I don't know, I want the challenge. And I like to feel, when people see my work, it's something that I've created from my imagination. I like that. When people go, whoa, did you draw that? How'd you think of that? I go, yeah, I just like that rather than going, no, I use a 3D asset. It's in the library. I don't know. That doesn't feel the same. Hi, Jimmy, you forgot about our live stream today at 3. We can reschedule if you want. Oh man, I'm so sorry. I can hop on now if you want to go ahead and start it. Send me the link and I'll hop on. I'm so sorry that I can't believe I forgot. We can make it 3:30. I can shut this one down and be over by 3:30, which is in the next like 2-3 minutes. From Tony for $5. Hail, Jimmy, hail, chat. Hail, Comic Gate tonight at 7:35 Central Standard Time on Frogman Friday. I will unveil the Jimmy Reyes cover art for my upcoming comic. Oh man, he hasn't shown that yet. Dude, I did a cover for Frog Tony. If you guys want to see my work, I drew that. I actually drew buildings and a scene in the background. I've never drawn superheroes. I don't really draw superheroes. Like this is about as superhero as I'm getting is in this particular idea that I've got. And Frog Tony has a superhero book, all ages, and he asked me to draw it, and I wanted to draw it in a classic. This isn't his cover, but this is a cover that I'm doing for my idea, but which is a bit more superhero. On there, you can see the poses and the girl with the bow. Look at that. I drew a foot. Oh, part of a foot. I kind of cheated at the end. I decided I wanted to. No, I didn't really. I drew that little pillar thrown down on the ground just to help the perspective, just to help the depth, feel the depth, so that there's something close to the camera. And then I actually had it bigger, but then I moved it down and drew in her foot. I thought I want to show I can draw hands and feet, and that's my drawing there. But So I drew a superhero. It was the first time I've ever drawn superhero, and probably the only, I think the only superhero cover I've ever drawn is Tony's, and he's going to unveil it. So that's pretty cool, man. I want to see it. Are people that silly, Jimmy? We Latinos are so diverse. What the hell? Yeah, like I'm saying, like, I mean, I got people in my family, people have no idea that they're even Latino, you know? And my daughter just, you know, she just looks really white. I mean, she looks, she's white. I mean, and people are just, you know, I would get that a lot, you know, when we were kids, you know, I said, Cray. Yeah, she went crazy. I mean, she called security and everything. I had to explain to them. It was a, you know, it's a thing. It's a, like, we never forgot it. Even my daughter still remembers it, you know, that day. And we, you know, later on we had fun with it. And so she would, like I said, later on as she got older, she'd play the game of, she would just pretend she didn't know me and walk away. And I'd be like, no, don't leave me here, you know, or she would pretend I was senile and thought that and pretend that I didn't remember her name correctly. So, but I'm gonna get going. I'm gonna get running. I think somebody might be starting a stream just in case he wants to start that stream. I'll go on over as a guest. I'm more than happy to be on any stream at all. You guys are incredible. But that's the perspective ruler, and it's very simple to use. Like I said, you know, just go in and play with it. Play with the ruler and start drawing in your stuff in there. If not, just practice and draw a building by itself. Just go in and just draw a building. Play with the perspective ruler. The more and more you use it, the easier it gets, and the more familiar you become with it and comfortable with it. I've been using it lately a lot more now than I ever have. I used to just kind of use a simple ruler, a guide, and freehand a lot of it, eyeball it a lot. And my buildings would start to look a little funky. So I finally decided to start using the preset, you know, 1 point or 2 points perspective. And it's really helping out a lot on this particular comic book, quite a bit. So I'm pretty happy with it. But you guys take it easy. And I'll see you guys soon. And you guys keep drawing. I'll see you guys. Thanks a lot.